Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good afternoon to all. Today we are from Group 2. We present for our presentation from TPS 213, which is Infrastructure Planning. So my group member is first me, Azlan Afif bin Abdul Rahman, and my matrix number is 2020829326. Second is Muhammad Amin Zahrin bin Asrom, 2020595807, and the third one Nordanish bin Razali 2020613616. Next Muhammad Fairul Nizam bin Azman 2020811962, and the last one is Muhammad Haidi Ashraf bin Hasim 2020463338. And this presentation is prepared for Sir Muhammad Rizal bin Muhammad. Okay, now this is our team member, which is me, Azlan Afif bin Abdul Rahman, and next presenter is Farul Nizam, next is Zahrin, Danish, and Kaidir. Okay, table of content. First, what we will explain in our presentation is first we will explain about our introduction, which consists of goal, objective, site background, site location and adjacent and surrounding development in a radius of 3 km. And the second one is survey form, which is topography, soil type, geology, hydrology, and future development. And the 3.0 is observation checklist, land use, topography, soil type and geology, hydrology, infrastructure and utility, and accessibility. And 4.0 is site analysis, and 5.0 calculation for infrastructure, and 6.0 is a placement of suggestion. So now for site background, I will pass to our first presenter, which is Danish. Please take your part.
Thank you, Azlan, for the briefing of our project. For introduction, in task 2, we need to do a virtual site visit and data collection on existing situation on access, drainage, and topographical factors. We also need to analyze graphically and produce a conceptual road hierarchy plan, storm water flow, and water power supply on a plan. For power supply, we will present the suggestion area for the power supply. For our goals is to introduce the related authorities, to find the suitable location for infrastructure development, and to find the balanced place density with infrastructure usage. Objectives is students can understand well about every authority's role and how data can be collected. Next, the placement of each infrastructure will not cause a problem in the future. And finally, every infrastructure development will be usage and not avoid from wasted. Next slide, please. For site background, our site location is in the Bukit Jalil. The state is Wilayah Persekutuan Kuala Lumpur. District is Bangsa. Townships or Mukim is in the Seputeh. For local authority is Dewan Bandaraya Kuala Lumpur or DBKL. For ownership is that we didn't identify any ownership because there are no ownership there. So for our planning block is 93D. Land use category is mixed use land. Distance from nearest city area is Bukit Jalil, which is 2.12 kilometers, Bandar Kirara 3.35 kilometers, Seri Kembangan 3.93 kilometers, Sungai Besi 4.57 kilometers, Puchong 6.81 kilometers, and Bandar Sunway 8.85 kilometers. For our number lot is 37027 and area is 47 hectares. Next slide, please. For our key plan and location plan, if you can see there, our study area is near the Bukit Jalil, Seputeh, Bandar Tun Razak, and so on. That is our location plan, which we identify more detail. For our base map is that this is our base map, which with perfect contour line and road guidelines. For adjacent development, I give to our next presenter, Azlan Afif.
Alright, thank you, Danish. So for adjacent development, we have first we have Stadium Bukit Jalil. Second, Stadium Hockey Bukit Jalil. Third is International Medical University. Fourth is Bukit Jalil Recreational Park. Fifth is Avenue Green Golf Clubhouse. And the sixth is Technology Park Malaysia. Next, we also have the Earth, which is a shop house, and then we also have Sri Malaysia, Kinara Golf Club, Dewan Serbaguna MBSJ, Tekun National, and also SK Desa Tasik in our site area according to the 5 radius kilometer. Surrounding development, just now I present about the adjacent development, and here is the surrounding development, which is we have a Columbia Hospital, we have UPNM, Masjid Al-Amin, School, Indah Water, Camp Sungai Besi, and also University Putra Malaysia.
Next is survey form. First, topography survey form. Element slope. This site area are flat and almost 100% are covered with flat area. And next element is cross section. A to A prime and B to B prime are the same. The highest point is 90 degrees and the lowest is 60 degrees. So based from the cross section show, these areas are flat. So next is soil form. First element is sandy soil. Sandy soils are also known as light soil because the high part of the sand is mixed with the little bit of clay. And second element is clay soil. Clay soil is consisting of very good mineral. It is thick if it's difficult to remove. Next is geology. First element is sandy stone. By definition, a clay stone is a type of clastic sedimentary rock. It is mainly composed of the fine particles that are cemented into hard rock. Second element is limestone. Limestone is consisting mainly of calcium carbonate or double carbonate of calcium and magnesium. So next is hydrology. First element is lake or pond. Lakes are usually used as a rain catchment area and can also be used as source of water for residents in the area. And last element is river. River also have the perfect current to be used as hydrological dam that convert water energy into electricity to be used as a source of power in certain areas. And lastly is expected future development form. Element is future road. This an expected road that soon will be developed. This is for survey form. I will pass the next slide to the next presenter, Khairil.
Thank you, Zahrin. And it's for land use checklist is residential, and for the details is terrace house, semi-detached house, cluster housing, detached house. And commercial and industry, shop house, light industry, medium industry, market and bazaar. For institutions and communities facility is university, hospital, mosque, security guard, house, community hall. And for transportation and infrastructure and activities is road, local and main, transport, railroad, electric substation, sewerage treatment plant, and telecommunications tower. And for source of data, primary data is site visit observations, and secondary data is Jabatan Perancang Bandar dan Desa Plan Malaysia and Pejabat Tanah dan Galian Selangor. Next. Open space, buffer zone, recreational park, green spaces and field, farming land and vacant land. For primary data is site visit observations, and for secondary data is Jabatan Perancang Bandar dan Desa Plan Malaysia and Pejabat Tanah dan Galian Selangor. Next. Topography checklist. Number one is topography. For detail topography informations, topography is a branch of geology and planetary science concerned with local detail in general, encompassing not just relief but also natural and man-made characteristics, as well as local history and culture. Topography elevations, geographical locations height is is its elevation above or below a fixed reference point, commonly a geode of reference, a mathematical model of the Earth's surface as um, a fully gravitational surface. See geodetic data and vertical datum. Slope is the rise or fall of the ground surface, and slope is calculated by dividing the difference in elevation between 2 points or by the lateral distance. Slope is very important because if the area has a sloping ground, it causes the water to fall when it rains, having difficulty to flow and can cause floods and so on. But if the area has a slightly sloping area, it can encourage water to flow out of the construction area easily. So for source of data, primary data, observations from site or from Google Maps, and for analysis, slope analysis is to find out the type of purpose development, slope degree 5%, 5% to 10%, 10% to 15%, 15% to 20%, 20 to 25%. Output, slope plan, elevation plan, usage describing the form and contour of the site plot, determining the height and degree of slope for the kind of dwelling and industrial, must adhere to the planning standards, can determine whether region is ideal for developing. Next, soil and geology checklist. Uh, One is for the elements is laterite, mud and sandy. Detail is geology plan is a geological finding that is being investigated for potential uses in development. Source of data, primary data is site observation. Secondary data is pejabat tanah dan galian Selangor. For analysis, geology analysis is used to determine the best sort of geological features to use in the construction of a suitable development. For output, types of soil in the set area. Next, I will give to the next presenters, which is Muhammad Fairul Nizam. Take your part.
Alright, thank you, Khairi Ashraf. Okay, first, for the first element in the hydrology is hydrology. Details, hydrology is the occurrence, distribution, movement and qualities of Earth's waters as well as their interaction with the environment at each stage of the hydrologic cycle. Second, water tanks. Water tank is a service reservoir and will be used in many applications in life such as drinking water, irrigation, agriculture, food preparation, as well as for other uses. For the software data, the primary data is site visit and the secondary data is Google Earth, National Hydrographic, Jabatan Pengairan dan Saliran, and also Indah Water. For the analysis in the hydrology checklist is to record the drainage flow to avoid a mud flood, and second, to improve the drainage system along the plain alignment, and third, identify the principle and the service of water supply. For the output is produce water flow from the highest elevation to lowest elevation, and second, the volume of water drained by the river of mouth, and third, it can be a water supply to all industry, not just for housing. Now I would like to give it to our next presenter, which is Azlan.
Alright, thank you, Muhammad Farul. So next we will discuss about infrastructure and utility. So what we have in our set area is first we have water tank, which is water tank is utility and infrastructure service that have been provided to the public are often considered as public service. That is service provided to the public for the benefit and needs of the surrounding community. Second one is electric substations. Electric substation is also the utilities service that provide various facilities to the surrounding community, which is electricity, gas, sewage, communication service, and also it can support water supply. So how we know about the presence of water tank and electric substation is from the data that we have collected, which is primary data and secondary data. So for primary data, we have to go and for the site visit, and for the secondary data, we can get this data from Tenaga Nasional Berhad Malaysia and also Jabatan Kerja Raya. So the identify is to determine of its infrastructure and utilities, to determine the network's degree of strength, and the last one is to pinpoint the location of infrastructures and utilities. The output of this infrastructure and utilities is the existing infrastructure and utilities, and also total utility graph. Next is accessibility checklist, which is accessibility checklist is a road accessibility. Accessibility also refers to the process or method of completing tasks involving the usage of street, road, alleyways, walkways, driving, and other modes of transportation. The appearance of items, equipment, service, and the environment are all examined in the context of accessibility. So the data that we collect is from the primary data, which is from site visit observation, and from the secondary data from the Jabatan Kerja Raya and also Rancangan Tempatan Daerah Bandaraya Kuala Lumpur. And the identify is to identify the current state and kind of road circulation, to identify the traffic volume, and to identifying the road potential and constraints. The output is we can see that the road circulation in our site area. Next site analysis, I will pass to our next presenter, which is Nur Danish Nur Razali.
Thank you, Azlan, for explaining the road accessibility. So now we move to the elevation. For elevation, we have the lowest point to highest point. For lowest point, the contour line between the range between the contour line is 50 to 60 meters. The area includes 16.4 hectares and the percentage is 34.5%. For moderate, we have 70 meters for the contour line range and the area is 24 hectares. The percentage is 50.5%. For highest point, is the range for contour line is 80 to 90 meters and 7.1 hectares, and the overall for the highest point percentage is 15%. Basically, all of our study area is suitable location to put electric substation. Next slide, please. For site analysis, we've identified 14 electric substation, double chamber, around 3 kilometers from our study area, and we've pinpointed there in our map. So next slide, please. For calculation or for infrastructure, I will give to our next presenter, Azlan Afif. Thank you.
Alright, for consumer demand estimate for domestic and business premise for calculation for the power supply, first we have type of housing and also type of shop house, and also the requirement of the power supply in every element. First we have rumah pangsa and also rumah teras satu tingkat, which is the maximum usage of the power is 3 kilowatts, and the second one is rumah teras dua tingkat is maximum usage is 5 kilowatt. Rumah berkembar satu tingkat is 7 kilowatt. Rumah sebuah satu tingkat is 10 kilowatts, and banglo dua tingkat is 15 kilowatt. And for the premise, we have kedai satu tingkat, which is the maximum value of the usage is 15 kilowatt. For kedai dua tingkat is 25 kilowatt. Kedai tiga tingkat is 35 kilowatt. And also for kedai 4 tingkat is 45 kilowatt and kedai 5 tingkat is 55 kilowatts. Next slide is. Next slide, we show we show the calculation and the standardization placement for our power supply, which is here is the calculation, which is low cost, affordable cost, and medium cost, semi-detached cost, and detached housing, and also for the other public facilities, commercial infrastructure, and facilities, and also open space. So, based on the calculation that we have made, we decide that we need to put 7 electric substations, which is single chamber electric substations in our site area. So the total area that we will use for electric substations is 1.5 hectares or 15 acres from our total area and represent 0.3% of our total area. Next. Next is placement and conceptual plan. So I will give to our next presenter, which is Muhammad Farul.
Alright, thank you, Muhammad Azlan. So here is the placement and suggestion. For the placement in the electric substation, this area is overall of this area is very suitable for us to place the electric substation. This is because this area is a flat area and there is no contour line. Even if this area have a contour line, it's not that high that we cannot build the electric substation at the area. So let's we next to the move to the next slide. For the electric substation, an electrical substation is a station in generation, transmission, and electrical distribution where high voltage channel to lower voltage and otherwise by using transformer. The provision of electricity shall be according to the requirement and request of domestic use, trade and industry. Electrical substation consists of 4 categories based on the function as well as total capacity channel. First, main entrance substation. Second, main distribution substation. And third, main switch station. And fourth, and the last one is electrical substation. For the site plan, substation site provide shall be free for the restriction and lawsuit such as mortgage and lease or special conditions imposed. TNB needs to identify energy catchment area, supplies to facilitate future planning, slowly electricity supply network and service area in the necessary provided, electrical substation necessary provided by the developer or user, site and substation building electricity has to be handed over to TNB at the nominal price only. For the location is construction in the infant substation primary, which is PMU, is not appropriate close to the area housing, open space and public facilities. Location of substation site should be on a flat area and equal to or close to the road surface. It is must placed above the level flood, away from the sewage plant or landfill, and electrical substation site are necessary placed adjacent to the user load. For the shape buildings, the design of building shall correspond to the building adjacent as well as area, its environment. The design is adapted to the size and function of the substation site. Selection of tree for the purpose and landscape should be appropriate and comply with the function, location, soil suitability. It should maintain condition, topography of soil, origin, cuttings minimum for the purpose only, road preparation and preparation the structure invoked only. For the site plan, Provision of electrical substation is based on the user demands, budget according to the domestic needs, business and industry, subject to the TNB requirements. Level 1 shows the estimates the number of requests for the premise, domestic and business. Value demands is estimates variations is based on the user's location in the around the TNB service area in the Peninsula Malaysia. Areas with the gradients over 300 is not allowed. For slope area between 50 to 300 meter, controlled by the developer are required to do the work cuttings, increasing slope stability and build fortification or retains wall in the edge of the slope. For the electric substation shape building is site category, type and area electrical substation according to the total user load is as in the table 2. The area of the site is dependent to the size of the building, which displacement required by local authorities. For housing or chain store, for the housing or chain stores, electric substation sites are necessary, separated by road, alley side or back hallway. The buildings needs to be relocated at least 3 meters from the site boundaries. For the boundaries facing the road and displacement of the building is 6 meters. Refer to the figure 1. Thank you. That's it from us. Group 2, the power supplies. Thank you.